A humble indie game by Mobius Digital came out last year with little fanfare, and I'm ashamed to admit it took me this long to give it a go, despite its incredibly high reception from friends. But now, after diving in, I was pleasantly surprised to find that it's a game unlike anything else I've ever played. That game is Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is a lot of things: a technical marvel, a pillar of good design, and an emotional journey. But it's wrapped up in what I can only describe as the openness of Breath of the Wild in space, and without a Ganon to push you forward. Exploration, discovery, and mind-blowing epiphanies are aplenty, yet it somehow does this without a single driving objective. This game is brilliant and we'll break down exactly why, but I wanted to give you the chance to escape before we get into the nitty-gritty. Outer Wilds is best experienced without knowing a single thing about it, so if you're interested in any way, go give it a play first, and come back to discuss it with us afterward. Cool? Alright, welcome to another episode of Good Game Design. Let's talk about it. As an eager astronaut ready to take to the sky, you begin your adventure on the home planet of Timber Hearth. This cozy introduction is fantastic, because you can test out all the different mechanics you'll be using, like controlling your ship, launching scout drones, and locating audio frequencies, but in a safe environment, before you're hurled into the cold vastness of space. And even better, they're completely optional. In fact, there's only one required conversation in the entire game, and that's to retrieve the launch codes from Hornfels at the observatory, which is strategically placed past all of these opportunities to learn, so you'll most likely see some of them along the way. But it makes sure you're the one choosing to engage with them, which you quickly find out is essentially the major theme of Outer Wilds. The only question Hornfels will ask is what you'd like to do out there in the great beyond, which disguises itself as an open-ended response, but cleverly gives you some ideas of where to get started too. Once you board the ship and take off, the entire solar system is quite literally yours to discover. There's no goal, no motive, or even a hint. The premise is to explore the stars. And what a universe it is. Almost immediately, I was blown away at what Outer Wilds achieved on a technical level. All of the planets are moving and rotating at the same time, and they're all on global timers with different quirks about them. Brittle Hollow is a fragile planet slowly getting sucked into a black hole over time. Giant's Deep is constantly storming and launching islands into the stratosphere. And the Hourglass Twins transfer pillars of sand from one planet to another through its gravitational pull, so one fills up over time while the other is emptied. All of this is happening simultaneously, so as you travel from globe to globe, any number of events could trigger as you arrive. And somehow this is all done without any loading screens stuttering or delays. It's seamless. Those aren't the only planets though. There's Dark Bramble, which is like a magic house, with many rooms that are much larger than they look from the outside. The Interloper, an icy comet that allows you to skate around its surface. Oh, and the Sun, which turns supernova and explodes after 22 minutes, killing you and everyone in the galaxy. But then you wake up again, somehow restarting in an endless loop, thanks to these mysterious figurehead statues. You start to realize there might be more to this story than just seeing the cosmos. The kicker is that Outer Wilds is so much more than walking simulators like Gone Home. There's puzzles, platforming challenges, even detective work you'll have to do to find out what exactly is going on here. And your arsenal of gadgets are vital to your quest as well. So even though I said their tutorials are optional, I recommend making sure you know how to use them. You'll find all sorts of contraptions that seem totally foreign at first, but are easy to understand once you start tinkering around with them. Like these projection stones that give you a vision if you stand near them, or balls of light that move upon sight to activate switches or doors. Because you only have a limited time frame to uncover the secrets each planet is hiding, you need to plan ahead carefully, otherwise you'll stumble upon a great new discovery just as you meet your untimely end. It also will take much longer than a single day. There are so many threads to follow once you really get your feet wet. I started to feel like Charlie after a while. Luckily, there are little bits of good game design to help ease the pain of your constraints. Once you've gone through a specific set of instructions to reach a hidden area, there's often shortcuts you can uncover to journey right back to it quicker the next time. These are always here, you just didn't know about them yet. Time will stand still as you're reading text or analyzing your ship log, so you don't have to stress about running out of time if you're a slow reader or just want to reflect on the information. You can also doze off at the opening campfire to speed up the time limit for events that happen later in a cycle, or learn to meditate by talking to another explorer on Giant's Deep, which will end your current run and start fresh with the click of a button. That way you don't have to drive straight into the sun to kill yourself. Still, there's quite a lot to explore out there. Searching behind every crag and bushel would take forever, but the developers thought of this too. That's why there's not very much detail on every part of a planet. If there isn't anything to find in a particular area, they kept the location dull and boring. Flat surfaces, simple grass or rock. So when something of importance does catch your eye, you're immediately drawn to it and want to investigate. They also made sure each cavern or lost city with a lot of branching pathways led to the same central piece that they wanted to make sure you saw. While there's plenty of lore and side conversations to find, the most important bits of evidence have neon signs pointing to them through the world design and the logic of the player. Oh, here's a wall with an empty slot. Okay, I gotta find the matching scroll. Furthermore, the music and sounds of the Outer Wilds complement these moments of discovery. Specific tunes will play as you approach a new revelation, building in intensity, almost like saying, "Warmer, warmer?" You're certainly directed toward the crumbs the alien race of Nomai left for you, but without any overt quest markers or checklists. The only guide is your curiosity, and I think that's pretty dang impressive to pull off. You can tell the concept of self-discovery was paramount to Outer Wilds' design. Everything else is put in there to enhance this driving force. There is an ending and final goal, but it's never stated outright. It's just hiding, waiting to be revealed. And because it's so carefully constructed to be that open-ended, this led to a game where every player's experience will be different. No one will probably have the same first run as I did. I flew to the closest thing I could find, Addle Rock, Timberhearth's tiny moon, and talked to a lonely wanderer there to ask some questions about the world. And then tried going to Brittle Hollow, but accidentally came in too hot and crashed my ship on the planet's surface. There was no way of fixing it, so I started to explore on foot. I didn't know that the game reset when you died at this point, so I started to get nervous about my depleting oxygen and fuel supply, and accidentally fell off the ledge and immediately got sucked into a black hole, which ironically led to the discovery of an important space station that taught me the basics of how teleportation works. In my next life, I exited my ship to repair something, but got blown away, barely clinging to life as I drifted through space. The next time I got overeager and sped into some ruins, only to realize I was stuck and will get crushed by the raising sand. Heck, I got straight up Finding Nemo'd by a freaking anglerfish the first time I entered Dark Bramble. That was terrifying. All of those experiences are mine, and no one else will have those moments quite the way I did. It's a game that gives you your own stories to tell, and builds an emotional connection to your journey and the universe you're exploring. The planets have a mind of their own and will continue on their paths whether you're around or not, which made it feel like a true sandbox to play in. One where you can make up your own games and let your imagination run wild. One that lets you draw your own conclusions about what you find. One where you can sit around a campfire and share a marshmallow with a friend as you reminisce about the lives you've lived. And that's a beautiful thing. Hey, if you've played Outer Wilds, let's try something a bit different. In the comments below, tell me about your very first expedition. What was that unique journey like? I want to read them all and see how different they can be. Thanks for watching another episode of Good Game Design. If you enjoyed and want to help support the channel, you can join this list of awesome people and gain access to cool rewards in the process by chipping in at patreon.com/snowmangaming. And hey, if you want to check out more awesome content on Outer Wilds, check out my buddy Rasputin's video here, and get ready to cry. I'll see you next time. Stay frosty, my friends.